This lesson is about triangle congruence, and there are 4 different ways that we can prove two triangles are congruent. One is if all the sides are the same. So if all the sides are the same, that's side, side, side. Side, angle, side, that's when the angle is actually sharing a ray. If you look here, this angle right here is sharing the ray of these two sides. So the angle is directly between them. So that would be side, angle, side. And then that's the same thing in the other triangle there. This angle right here is directly in between these two sides. So side, angle, side. And right there, DE would correspond with the one that has one hash mark over here, which was BA. And we also see that CB corresponds with the one with 2 hash marks, which would be EF. Now an angle side angle, the side has to be directly between the two angles, the adjacent angles. So here we have an angle right here, we have an angle right here, and the side right between them is congruent to the one on the other triangle, as well as the angles are congruent there. So I would write angle, side, angle. Same thing here, angle, side, angle. And it doesn't matter if you're going angle, side, angle, or if you're saying it the other way, angle, side, angle. The key is just to be consistent, and you're going adjacent, so you can either go clockwise or counterclockwise. It's the one that's right next to it. And the fourth and final way is angle, angle, side, or you could say side, angle, angle. This is the only one where you can actually flip those around. So if you're reading it clockwise, it might be angle, angle, side, or counterclockwise could be side, angle, angle, depending on what you're looking at. And on this one, I see that the angle are the same because they both have one hash mark. And then so that's angle, angle, side. And then, let's see if I can read that the same way here. Angle, angle, side. So those we just proved are congruent. So in effect, there's actually only 2 ways using those 3 letters, S and A, that we can prove if it is not congruent. And those ways are going to be angle, side, side. And the way I like to remember that is you can't curse. And the other way is going to be angle, angle, angle. And don't drink. Like AA. So don't drink, don't curse. And that's the way you can remember the 2 that don't work if you're using the S and A for a 3-letter combination there. And now we have a quick message from our sponsor. Oh, she says, don't curse and don't drink. Thank you. All right, let's try an example question. In this one, we want to know if the 2 triangles, triangle ABC and triangle CDE, are congruent. And to figure that out, we want to see if we can prove it using one of our 4 ways. And if you'll recall, they were angle, angle, side, 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 angle, side, angle, and side, angle, side. So those are the 4 ways we can prove it. And let's see what relationship we have in this figure. Well, right now I don't see anything with the angles. I only see hash marks indicating that sides are going to be congruent. So I do notice that this angle is vertical to this angle, and vertical angles are congruent. So I'm going to go ahead and put that arc in there to show that congruence. And that's honestly all I know about this triangle. So looking in order, this is side, and then the adjacent side, and then angle. And if you recall, we can't curse, so ASS isn't going to work here. So side side angle or angle side side is not going to be a proof for that. So this is not congruent. And they could be congruent, we just don't have enough information. Let's take this question a bit further. How could it be congruent, the two triangles, if we were using side angle side? Well, if you'll recall, the side angle side, the angle has to be in between the two sides. So its rays are going to be the two sides. So look at our angle that we know is congruent, which would be the one with the arc right there. And that angle, that means this side and this side, the ones, in other words, the ones right next to it that share the same ray, would have to be congruent. So we're missing this piece of information. We would need to know that side AC is congruent to, I'm going to denote that with 3 hash marks, is congruent to side CD. So if we knew that information, again, that's AC is congruent to CD, then we just prove that they are congruent using side angle side. Let's take a look at another question. We want to prove that these two triangles are congruent. Let's see if we have enough information to do that. Well, right now, all I'm seeing is some arcs, which tells me that the angles are congruent. So angle A right here is congruent to angle C, and I know that angle DBC is congruent to angle ADB. And I don't see anything with the sides. However, I do know that these triangles share the same side. So even though there's not a hash mark, I'm going to put one right here because I know those have to be congruent because they share the same side. So looking at that, we have an angle next to another congruent angle next to a side. So angle, angle, side. And if you'll recall, angle, angle, side is one of the ways. Let's see if it works for the other side of our triangle BCD. We have, over there we have angle, angle, side. So it works. So angle, angle, side would be our proof. These two triangles are congruent. All right, let's look at another question. We want to prove triangle GHI is congruent to triangle JKL. And to do that, we have our 4 ways that we talked about. Let's see if we have enough information for this. We have GH is congruent to JK, so they correspond with each other and they're congruent. And we have angle G is congruent to angle K. So I have side and I have angle. So all we have for this triangle is angle, correction, all we have for this triangle is side angle. So we're missing a third component. Same thing here, side and then the angle. So what if we needed to do side angle side? What would we need? Well, we would need, the angle needs to be in between for side angle side. So we would need GI needs to be congruent to LK. And that would give us side angle side. So as that one stood, they were not congruent without some more information. But if LK is congruent to GI, then we have a winner. Those triangles are congruent. Thanks for watching.